Hi, welcome to Learn English and Practice with Marie. Today we're going to do Advanced Vocabulary Builder, lesson number 144. We'll go through 10 advanced words and talk about their definitions, parts of speech, and review a couple of examples for each. We'll finish with a story so you can hear the words in context and do a quick review at the end. This is a series, so if you like this video, subscribe for more. Let's hop in. First, I'll read the words. Fervid, Convey, Belie, Castigate, Apprehension, Lionize, Fledgling, Transitory, Reform, Desultory. First, fervid. This means intensely enthusiastic or passionate, especially to an excessive degree as an adjective, and there are additional literary meanings. So someone who's fervid is really passionate, really excited about whatever it is they're doing. I know all of us have probably had a teacher in our lives who has impacted us significantly. And chances are that teacher was incredibly fervid about the topic that they were teaching. One time in high school, I had a teacher who was so passionate about teaching about the US government that he would jump on a desk when reciting the Declaration of Independence for the United States. And, that is definitely a show of excitement. Examples are, he wrote a fervid letter expressing the strong opinions of the matter. The fans cheered with fervid excitement as their team scored the winning goal. Convey. This means transport or carry to a place as a verb. Make an idea, impression, or feeling known or understandable to someone as a verb. Communicate a message or information as a verb. So to convey something can mean to communicate it in a way where it's understood. So often when I'm teaching, I'm trying to convey a point. I'm trying to convey a message in a way that's going to be comprehensible to the audience that I'm teaching, to the students. Also, think about caution tape. When you see caution tape in an area, that conveys to you that you should stay away from that area. Examples are, the teacher used pictures to convey complex ideas to her students. The movie soundtrack helps convey the mood of each scene. Belie. This means fail to give a true notion or impression of something. Disguise or contradict as a verb. Fail to fulfill or justify a claim or expectation. Betray as a verb. So to belie is to do something or give the impression of something that isn't entirely true. And often when you belie something, you're trying to make it seem better than it is. So there's a song that absolutely breaks my heart where one of the lyrics is, "Smile while your heart is breaking." And in that instance, the person who's smiling is belying their true feelings. Examples are, the cheerful decorations belied the seriousness of the meeting. Her calm tone belied the anxiety she felt inside. Castigate. This means reprimand someone severely as a verb. So to castigate someone is to scold them or to communicate that they've done something really wrong and to do so in a pretty forceful way. So castigating someone is really usually only appropriate in the context of an adult. Castigating a child, if someone was to castigate me as an adult, I would be offended. I would find that very demeaning and annoying for sure. So take, for example, a child who broke curfew. In that instance, the parents might castigate that child. But you can certainly have adults castigating each other. It's just considered quite rude. Examples are the coach decided to castigate the players for not following directions. She castigated herself for forgetting her friend's birthday. Apprehension. This means anxiety or fear that something bad or unpleasant will happen, as a noun. Understanding, grasp, as a noun. The action of arresting someone, as a noun. So, an instance where I felt apprehension was one time I was trying to board a plane and I was traveling, and they kept on announcing that things were delayed and delayed and delayed. Well, once we actually got on the plane, the pilot got on the loudspeaker and explained to us that there was a mechanical failure, but that they got the go ahead because the mechanical failure wasn't resolved, but it was acceptable enough for us to continue our journey. Well, given that announcement, I was a little concerned. I had apprehension about flying because if there was a mechanical failure, something that was making the plane not work as it should, and it wasn't fixed, why are we flying? All right, just because someone said it's fine, like, ooh, okay. Examples are the dark clouds filled the travelers with apprehension as they watched flights get delayed. Before her big presentation, Mia felt a wave of apprehension about speaking in front of the class. Lionize. This means give a lot of public attention and approval to someone, as a verb. Treat as a celebrity, as a verb. So to lionize someone is to give them a lot of praise and to give them public recognition. So this word right here has nothing to do with literal lions, the animal. Rather, we're talking about giving someone a lot of praise and attention in a very public realm. And you might lionize a local newscaster, for example. So if you have a local newscaster or a radio personality, they might gain some local acclaim and people might talk about how amazing they are, and that would be an instance of lionizing them. Examples are the city decided to lionize the local hero with a parade. The media tends to lionize celebrities, often overlooking their mistakes. Fledgling. This means a young bird that has just fledged, as a noun. A person or organization that is immature, inexperienced, or underdeveloped, as a noun. So, something that's fledgling is just getting started. It's in its baby stages, if you will. This YouTube channel, arguably, is still in its fledgling stages. It's still sort of finding its identity and still sort of building a basic audience base. So over time, this YouTube channel will continue to develop and move out of the fledgling stages. But right now, I'd say definitely it's still in its infancy. Examples are, as a fledgling artist, he was still learning new techniques every day. The fledgling bird took its first flight from the nest this morning. Transitory. This means not permanent, as an adjective. So something that's transitory is fleeting. It is not something that is going to stick around forever, and it's not a state of being that's going to persist forever. So sometimes American students between high school and college, or immediately after college, will do an internship. And that internship is a short-term role where they get to get some work experience and learn some basic skills. They're not going to be an intern for a very long time. So it's a transitory role, and that's everybody's expectation. Examples are, the rainbow was a transitory sight, disappearing within minutes. They lived in a transitory apartment while searching for a permanent home. Reform. This means make changes in something typically a social, political, or economic institution or practice in order to improve it as a verb. The action or process of reforming an institution or practice as a noun, and there are additional religion and chemistry meanings. So to reform something is to make it better, to improve it in some way. And reform isn't something that happens overnight. It takes work, it takes effort, and sometimes it takes the evolution of institutions. It's a pretty big deal. So, take, for example, the rehabilitation of prisoners. So, when prisoners are locked up, the expectation is that they work on reforming themselves and becoming better future members of society by working on themselves, building new skills, building a new mindset. And that is, something that's expected of them to reform themselves. Examples are the government introduced a new law to reform the education system. Social reform is often necessary to improve people's lives. Desultory. This means lacking a plan, purpose, or enthusiasm as an adjective. Of conversation or speech, going constantly from one subject to another in a half-hearted way, unfocused as an adjective. Occurring randomly or occasionally as an adjective. So something that's desultory can be really frustrating. Take, for example, a meeting. So if the meeting is desultory and the group is not working towards some sort of goal, there's no agenda, there's no plan, that can be really frustrating. What a waste of time. So you definitely want to avoid situations that are desultory. Examples are the conversation was desultory, jumping from one topic to another. She took a desultory walk through the park with no particular destination in mind. So let's read a story so we can hear these words in context. Once upon a time, there was a fervid intern named Alex. Alex worked hard every day, always eager to learn and help. Despite his enthusiasm, Alex often felt apprehension about making mistakes. He worried that his fledgling skills might belie his true potential. One day, Alex's boss asked him to convey an important message to the team. Alex's heart raced, but he took a deep breath and delivered the message clearly and confidently. The team was impressed, and Alex felt a surge of pride. However, not everything was smooth. There were moments when Alex's work was desultory, and his boss had to castigate him gently. But Alex took the feedback positively and worked on reforming his approach. As time passed, Alex's efforts did not go unnoticed. The company decided to lionize Alex for his dedication and hard work. They offered Alex a full-time position, turning his transitory internship into a permanent role. Through his journey, Alex proved that with determination and the right attitude, even the most daunting challenges could be overcome. So let's review these words quickly and I'll spell as we go. Fervid, Fervid, means extremely enthusiastic or passionate. Convey, Convey, means to transport something to another place or to make something understandable to someone or to communicate it. Belie, Belie, is to give an untrue impression, to disguise or contradict. Castigate, Castigate, is to severely reprimand. Apprehension, Apprehension, is anxiety or fear, or also it can mean the action of arresting someone. Lionize, Lionize, is to give public attention or approval, treat as a celebrity. Fledgling, Fledgling, can refer to a young bird or a person or organization that is just getting started and is underdeveloped. Transitory, Transitory, means not permanent. Reform, Reform, means to make changes in something to improve it, or it can mean the process of reforming an institution or practice. Desultory, Desultory, means lacking a plan or purpose, or just to generally be unfocused or all over the place. Again, those words are Fervid, Convey, Belie, Castigate, Apprehension, Lionize, Fledgling, Transitory, Reform, Desultory. Great job today. There are other videos like this on this channel, and more are coming soon. I'll put playlists and videos right here, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!